All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is ESL One Mumbai 2019, powered by Intel. This is the NA Regional Qualifiers. We've got Team facing off against Flying Penguins. I'm here with the amazing Jenkins Dota, and we are gonna cast some NA Dotes.
How's it going? That
It's
was a lovely intro. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
calling me amazing.
You are
I appreciate
amazing.
that.
You are
Thank you.
amazing, and
You're
so are
too.
some of these picks. Can you believe we've got a first pick Enigma coming out from Team, Gunner's Ember Spirit, right? Chen and
I
Monkey King.
can.
Like these guys, they know what they want to do here.
Yeah, I can. I definitely get it. It's a little aggressive picking a Monkey King into Enigma Ember because both of these heroes have ways to destroy trees. Um, However, in terms of laning, I think that's probably why they picked it because Monkey King can kill the Eidolons with his little stick, and Ember Spirit, of course, doesn't do much against the physical damage in the lane. But I get the Enigma Ember pick too. We have Gunner, who is arguably the best Ember Spirit in North America, and Brax, who is also arguably one of the best Enigmas in North America. And I would say the best Enigma in North America. It's just that there are quite a few people in North America that are pretty good at Enigma as well. Whereas like Gunners, it just leaps and bounds above people when it comes to Ember Spirit. Like this guy is the master.
Yeah, we saw him go off actually in the Dream League qualifiers playing that Ember Spirit. He did so much work with that hero, so pretty excited to be able to
Yeah,
cast this again.
and he was also playing four Flying Penguins at the time with Ember
I
Spirit.
know.
So you'd think that maybe they would have a little more respect for the Ember Spirit, or maybe they're thinking that, you know what, this Gunner guy, he's pretty good, but he's not the reason that we won that. We won that. Gunner was playing with us, so
That
that's
was
why he
definitely
looked
it was
good.
definitely the reason they won a couple of their
I don't know,
games.
dude. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a grudge match here. You never know what these players are thinking. Maybe they wanted to bait the Ember Spirit because they know how confident he is with it.
I mean, this is
And
Eternal Envy drafting over on the side of Flying Penguins, and this guy is known for, the next level.
this man is into the mind games. He's been called an insane man by some, and a genius by some others. And I'm still 50-50. I'm not 100% sure. Depending on the game, it looks like one or the other. But that's why every single game that this guy plays is so exciting. It's either completely ridiculous or absolutely destructive for the enemy team with his drafts.
For sure. And I
And
mean, if there is ever going to be a match where we have the, what is it, the top 10 anime betrayals and revenge stories, I mean, these are the teams, right? We got Eternal Envy, you've got Gunner now playing over on the side of Team.
yeah, this is
This is so weird. I can
this.
see your cursor on my screen. That's never usually happened before.
Were you watching a player perspective before? Were you watching like a replay or another
I
cast
was
or
watching a
another game?
replay. Yeah.
Okay, that you're probably seeing one of the players' perspectives, which usually you have to restart the Dota client to
Oh, that's
fix that.
exciting.
Just
That's
like
great.
disconnecting won't fix that, unfortunately. It's a
Okay.
strange bug. I can call out the picks if you'd like. You
Why don't
can.
we do that very quickly? So I'm gonna throw up the oh gosh, I can't even throw up the standby screen. Hold on one second, guys. We will be right back. I'm just gonna restart Dota 2.
Are we gonna see your desktop?
No, I'm gonna
Your
throw up the
desktop
thing.
app?
Be right back, guys. All right, I think that solved the problem now. So we are indeed back. Sorry about that, guys. I was getting a player perspective, which could be potentially very, very bad. Uh, but we are
Especially
back
if it's
though.
Brax's player perspective, that'd be awful. I'm just
How
kidding.
you gonna throw your boy
I'm just
Brax under the bus like
no,
that? Come on now.
that'd be great. Let me tell you, I'm a Brax stream watcher. I watch his stream all the time. This guy is educational. If you're looking for somebody to learn Dota from, he just Dota knowledge just seeps out of this guy, out of all of his orifices. Like, he just cannot contain himself when it comes to Dota knowledge. Anyway, not very relevant. We have a troll pick. We have Bane. We have Shadow Shaman. Troll is a Sammy Boy special currently.
Troll has like a 60% win rate too right now, if I recall correctly. Like, this guy is very, very popular.
Yeah, I think he was getting picked a decent amount too in ESL. Picked a little bit too in MDL, and looks pretty good. Honestly, the new ultimate, if you use it like a kind of shallow grave or like pseudo Ursa ultimate, where you just like walk into a fight, allow yourself to lose basically your entire HP pool, and you just press R and you lifesteal to full HP and you become immortal. Like, you can use it to bait a lot of spells, and yeah, it's quite strong when it's used like that. I think for the first like initial part of this patch, people were using it more so for the attack speed. They were kind of using it like it's the old troll ult, but that's just not doing the spell justice. And I think that's very clear right now when people are playing troll. Like, they're using it as that shallow grave. They're using it because it makes you basically immortal. I think it's just the axe culling blade that goes through it. And we have a Spectre pickup.
All right. This is an Eternal Envy special here. Not quite as popular as his Phantom Assassin, but of course that one being banned out. Still very, very popular hero too, the Phantom Assassin. I thought we'd see a little bit of a dip in that, but no, we're gonna get the Spectre. I don't know about this.
I think so. I honestly, basically in this game, I think like whichever team is ahead going into the mid to late game and the late game is going to look significantly better, because you have a Spectre who has a huge amount of effective HP versus Enigma, who does pure damage and does percentage-based damage, and then you have Ember Spirit, who does a bunch of magical damage, so it doesn't really care about the armor from these agility heroes, Monkey King and Spectre. So I think that like if we go into the mid to the late game and team has an advantage, they're just going to completely obliterate. But on the flip side, you have a Spectre versus Enigma, so you can cancel the Blink Dagger. Spectre versus Ember Spirit, so Spectre does pure damage. So once again, like, Ember Spirit is good against this magical damage, but Spectre is pure damage. Monkey King does physical damage. So basically, like, whoever has a lead in this game, just because of the damage types and what damage these heroes don't take damage from, whichever team has a lead is going to completely destroy the other team. And so that means like the laning stage is probably going to matter a lot. The laning stage and the early rotations setting up for a good mid game. Likewise, they have a lot of ways of breaking the Monkey King's trees. Like, this hero could just completely feed and look awful if he doesn't have an advantage. This is typically how it is against your Bat Riders, your Embers. Any heroes that can destroy trees can just make Monkey King look terrible if he isn't farmed.
Well, and speak of that too, you do see that the Bat Rider is taken out because they don't want to have that problem for their Monkey King. And you brought up a good point too, right? So the Spectre, right? Spectre typically, takes a while to come online, but you do have a Chen, you do have a Shadow Shaman. Both of these heroes are going to be able to put some decent pressure out onto that map fairly early. I also worry a little bit though, right? You've got team, you've got this Enigma, and Enigma, you talk about being, that Viper pickup. Whoa, okay, so what's
surprised it didn't get picked up earlier. This hero has been an absolute scourge, and yeah, I mean it's definitely overpowered with this CC&C Atos build. It just does so much damage. It honestly just does so much damage. Like, you pick up an Atos, you use the Atos to set up for the Nether Toxin, which allows you to get into range to use your ultimate, and then you press your Q on somebody, and because they're stuck in the Nether Toxin, which decreases your magic resistance, they basically just completely melt, and you pick a Necrophos into a Viper. That is interesting.
Oh, and it's not going to be, it's going to be Brax on the Necrophos, Nashum on the Enigma.
Okay, so this is like more leaning towards both of these teams have excellent counters for the enemy team if they have an advantage. Like, I really feel like this game is going to be a stomp, just because if Viper has an advantage versus Necrophos, Necro feeds. If Necrophos has an advantage versus Spectre, Spectre feeds. Like, I think the Necro is attempting to be a counter pick to the Spectre, because essentially you have the Heartstopper aura,
Right.
which just goes through all of her armor, all of her damage reductions and everything. And the way that Spectre kills you is you get her to like 30-40% HP, and then the dispersion does so much damage at that point that you have to run away, and then she just chases you down and kills you. But the great thing about Necrophos is that you have the scythe available for when she gets low enough that essentially the dispersion would start killing you, and then you just scythe her, and if she's dead because of the scythe, the dispersion doesn't do damage. So that's why like Necrophos is amazing against Spectre, because it doesn't let her put you to that threshold where she can actually kill you with the dispersion, because you just get her to 50%, you scythe her, and she's dead. So it's like typically a counter, but Viper, it just does so much magic damage, which will shred through the Necrophos if he's not careful.
This is so interesting too. Like you're looking at this, so it's an off lane Viper. Snake King's gonna be on that Viper. You've got Ryoya over on the Monkey King, and of course Envy on Spectre. This is gonna be a very interesting game. I feel like right now too, with the current meta, whoever comes out of the laning phase like the strongest is typically the team that wins right now. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a lot about fighting, and even in the laning stage, it's a lot about fighting now, because creeps just give you like strictly less gold than they used to. So yeah, whoever tends to fight better in the laning stage will tend to have a bigger gold lead in a meta where people want to continue fighting, because that's kind of where the majority of gold, the gold in this meta comes from Midas's, Bounty Hunter, and fighting. that's about it. Creeps don't give a lot of gold anymore, so
yeah, everybody's got a Midas right now. It seems to be the general rule is if you've already got a pretty good kit and you don't need to build a lot of damage right away, you can kind of grab that Midas, get that experience, and ensure that you've got some movement for the late game. But do you get a pause right away? Looks like Brack's actually having a little bit of difficulty here. So what are we... Ooh, what's that?
Speaking of Midas, we actually have Nushem in his quick buy. He's setting up for building to a Helm of Dominator. So looking to push early and abuse the fact that there is 3 pretty effective late game cores on the enemy team that aren't necessarily going to be super farmed, super able to fight in the early game, especially if they do end up going for Midas's, which we've seen Ryoya go for Midas on the Monkey King in previous tournaments. We've seen in the previous 2 premier tournaments that have been going on, Macau and ESL.
Yeah, we've been spoiled with the amount of Dota that we've been able to watch, right? There was Dota in the morning, Dota in the afternoon, Dota in the evening, depending on where you are.
It's great, but it kind of sucks because like I want to watch it all, but it's all day. You can't be up for 24 hours a day every day of the week. It doesn't make any sense. So you have to choose to not watch one of the tournaments, and I want to watch both. Both tournaments had great teams at them.
You got to watch both the VODs, man. You can't stay up 24/7, obviously. I mean, you could. It's probably not very good for you. And I mean, you've got a weird sleep schedule anyways, but...
That's true. You know,
are we at all nervous about... Okay, so the Spectre up here, it's going to be supported by Lelis, of course. But I feel like this is a very aggressive showing that they're coming up here with.
Yeah, Necrophos is typically a Spectre lane counter. She has to get close to the creeps to get last hits, so he just, presses his Death Pulse. The Heartstopper aura is constantly peeling through Spectre's HP. It doesn't care about the dispersion at all. Yeah, this Necrophos hero is like... I'm actually surprised that Penguins aren't looking to dodge. Oh, they are looking to dodge.
They are dodging.
Okay.
They're sending Envy.
Yeah.
Envy's already trekking his way out. He wants nothing to do with that lane.
Yeah, you would want... Oh, actually, he's going for the Bounty Rune Snipe. Okay. Instead, he's not dodging. That's interesting.
That's Eternal Envy for you right there. You never know what this guy's going to do.
Yeah, and I'm also interested
right back over here, so...
He really is.
Sir, hello?
Don't they just stand on the high ground and just, like, block him with the Bane right now? Oh, okay, he's walking all the way around. All right. Bane's just gonna run into him and start punching him.
Are they trying? Yeah, I think they're trying to fake them out, maybe? Yeah, because we already see that Envy's TP'd back to lane here. And Bane was doing a little hunting. Looking for his spooky friend.
Brax is, whacking people behind the tower. Of course, when you are in a lane where you can apply the most pressure, you should definitely look to do it as early as possible. Why not waste a little bit of regen on the Chen side?
For
Nice
sure,
double
this is
deny.
not going to be a comfortable lane for Envy. I'm a bit concerned about this. And already in this mid lane, lots of pressure being placed over onto Roya, with, of course, IX Mike making this rotation over to the mid.
So this is a cool way to deal with the fact that Monkey King should just obliterate an Ember, but the issue is you have a Viper versus a Troll. I don't think the Troll's going to do that well, but it is abusing the fact that the creep wave is right in front of the Troll's tower for the first wave, so I presume that Bane will eventually go.
IX Mike might be in a little bit of trouble. Flea, he stuttered a little bit there. He was looking. We'll get the Ether Shock off, but not going to be able to quite do enough damage. Actually going for the Ether Shock level 1 here.
This is pretty nice, actually. The Bane rotates the mid lane, forces Flea to come to the mid lane. And then this is a matchup that the Monkey King would already be winning. So now we have a Shadow Shaman and a Monkey King here, which is totally unnecessary for beating the Ember, because the Ember's going to lose anyway. So now Viper's going to get destroyed in the bot lane. These are really nice rotations from IX Mike.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're hoping. Snake King, of course, over here, hiding into the trees, dropping down that lovely Nether Toxin here. And we're seeing the shift come out, though. Flea's saying, all right, there's no longer someone poking away over at a Monkey King. I'm going to make my way back bottom. Maybe I can find something. And in fact, he does have a ward. We'll see IX Mike over here in the corner. Of course, not too afraid right now, considering that Flea does have that Ether Shock level 1, so he's not going to be able to hold him down in place. Although he does a decent chunk of damage. Still have that Brain Sap up, though, over on IX Mike, so...
I have no idea who wins that trade, actually. You have 4 armor on Bane, 61 damage, and then the lifesteal from Brain Sap, but Shadow Shaman has 3 armor and 76 base damage. They both kind of lose that trade. Oh, Snake King gets the double stack of the easy camp.
Yeah, it's
the
going
level
to be able
2
to farm
Nether
that up
Toxin.
super easily, and there's nothing that Mike can do here. But I guess it gives a little bit of breathing room to Sammy Boy, right?
It does, yeah. 2 minutes in, getting a stack like that is pretty nice for your Viper. He's the highest CS right now.
I mean, this hero is just so annoying and awful anyway, so if he can get any ways to get ahead, it makes it so much more difficult for your enemy team.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this hero with the new Atos build is that he's so effective in the early game. Like, he's always been effective in the early game, but he farms so fast going for the max Nether Toxin, and then in the late game, due to Aghanim Scepter plus the level 20 talent, the 100 Viper Strike DPS, he's a beast in the late game as well. Like, at every point in the game, Viper is very strong. The way that you deal with him, I think, is like killing him in the lanes, but yeah, he's not getting killed, so
yeah,
he's
I'm not
gonna
sure
have
they've
a
really drafted the kind of setup where they can kill Snake King.
No, there's...
Granted, this was a
really
last
no way.
Viper, so they may be worth
Yeah.
thinking about it. Oh, IX Mike in for some trouble. Nether Toxin going to get used, as is the Shackles. He's going to try to use that Nightmare to get away, but nope, Snake King going to draw the first blood.
God, Snake King even went for Corrosive Skin level 2. Like, he's really just looking to farm.
Well,
And surprisingly, still gets first blood.
It's going to take a lot to take down this Viper, right? And they just don't really have the setup with it, because you've got, you know, obviously Brax up here going to want to just keep placing as much pressure as he can over onto Spectre. Nusham's trying to, you know, get what he needs out this jungle over here, and occasionally show up for lane. And there's only so much that this Bane can do, right? Because look at this, Flea's already running at him again. Does have a couple stick charges, not enough to really do his full kit, but will be constantly just placing pressure. So they just kind of have to survive against the Viper. They can't really be that aggressive against him.
Yeah, this is really interesting from Snake King. This is kind of similar to what we saw with... did you see Matumba Man play Viper in the finals?
Yes.
Where he just, like, farmed? Like, this is very similar, except in the offlane, where he's just running into the jungle and farming right in front of the faces of Team. Like, there's nothing that they can do about it, because he has the level 2 and Corrosive Skin, so they can't go over and contest him. Look at the damage they're taking from contesting him. It's not doing anything.
Oh,
although, as I say that,
you know, Sammy Boy was hoping maybe he could do something. We'll just walk out the Nether Toxin, though, turn his attention over here onto Flea, get a couple hits off. Does have the Shackles if they want to try to make anything happen. We'll use the Shackles, actually canceling it out, though. And now it looks like Snake King, oh, he's sitting solo. Both of these guys, Sammy Boy in for some trouble. Just barely going to be able to make it out. Does have a couple stick charges, too, if he's feeling super threatened. But that will secure the 5-minute runes for the side of Flying Penguins. Flea going to be able to grab 2 of those here in the bot lane.
That was some miscommunication coming from Flying Penguins. Like, I think they could kill Sammy Boy in that scenario. But even still, like, just due to the heroes that they have, Team still loses the 2 bounty runes for that trade. Even though Flying Penguins, like, clearly miscommunicated there. On the top lane, Necrophos is actually going to fall to the Spectre.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that is a good rotation coming out from Flea. and that'll give Envy a little bit more space.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, it's
This
not
is
far
great.
behind, honestly. You know, I figured that the Necrophos would be placing a lot of pressure over onto the Spectre like we talked about, but the CS is still on point. Bottom lane looks like Snake King might be in for some trouble. They have the Brain Stab, the break over here onto Sammy, but needs a little bit more damage. He does have the Fairy Fire. They need to get one more hit, but he's going to be able to fog them over here into the side, and now it looks like Troll going to have to run himself away, as is Mike, sitting pretty low himself.
The amount of damage that Snake King does just by putting down the Nether Toxin on himself and having the corrosive skin. It's like if you wanna try to kill this guy, he's doing 100 to 150 DPS to you with the magic resist reduction that he applies with that Nether Toxin, and just the raw damage that it does. That's why I really like this rotation from Fleet to the top lane, because Snake King can just pull a Matumba Man and just kind of farm at this point. You know, he doesn't actually need help. Although, as I say that, he's rotating to the top lane to potentially kill the Necrophos.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Flea already into position. Look at it, opening up with the Ether Shock. We'll be able to go land the Shackles. Nether Toxin gets placed down. They're going to let Envy grab this hit, I think. No, it's actually going to be Snake King who gets the kill. Though we do have some movement over here into this mid lane. Nusham and IX Mike hoping to maybe grab this Monkey King. Roya in for a little bit of trouble. They've got the Hellbear. We'll be able to go use that Nightmare. Jump forward. Roya, use that Hell Clap. He's going to try to dodge this. Throws out the Boundless, but they'll still be able to take him down. And they actually make it so that there was a TP rotation that got canceled. So I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about this right now, and they should be able to put a decent amount of damage on this tower.
And Nusham with this very early Helm of Dominator is kind of being a bit of a saving grace for his team right now. Like, it just seems like despite having better late game, you know, arguably Flying Penguins or Nusham is actually kind of carrying them in the early game here. This Flying Penguins, despite having better late game, is doing very well at this point. Like, you should not have a Spectre who has the most CS on the map at this point versus a Necrophos. That's just very bad. You can see that they have 2 wards protecting him up here.
That was costly.
Yeah, they want to make sure that Envy can get what he needs, because I've seen this actually. I think it was during the Dream League quals actually, where they did draft a Spectre, and unfortunately just got run over, didn't get any chance to come online, didn't get a chance to get what it needed, and it caused a huge problem. It actually cost them the entire game, the fact that they just could not get enough farm onto Envy fast enough. So I think, you know, this protection is really, really smart that they've got these wards out, and I feel like a lot of the, I don't want to say the X factor, but like one of the big factors of why they're feeling very confident is, of course, Snake King on this this Viper paired with Flea. Flea's made some good rotations. He's been able to go and get some kills, put the pressure down, and again, they don't really have a great way to deal with this Viper at this particular time.
They really don't. They need to. They're gonna need to like come down here with Nusham and black hole him, basically. Like, that's. Nusham's rotating back to the mid lane actually against Roya. Oh, he's dead. There's no way he survives it.
No, yeah, Roya trying to run himself out, tries to use the mischief, but we'll be able to get that kill.
Eric's got to just like kind of chill at this point, because he's got 2 free farming side laners, like 2 extremely good late game heroes that are basically free farming, and the only rotation that Team can make is to the mid lane. I feel like he just needs to be not greedy at this point. Nusham is completely controlling this game actually with this Helm Dom. Like, now he runs to the top lane, and they're gonna get the tier 1 up here. Snake King is here. He does have the level 3 Nether Toxin, so he's pretty good at defending, but
they want to be able to protect this tower because they don't want to have Spectre get just run over in her own jungle, although she is making the rotation. Over here onto the side, though, looks like they found Lelis. Sammy Boy going to be able to use the Whirling Axis, needs a little bit more damage. We'll be able to take down Lelis. Haun's actually going to get used to Eternal Envy, turning his attention now over here onto Sammy Boy. He's trying to run himself out. That Boundless coming through, though. For all he goes, he pops that. Chasing after Envy here right now. We'll be able to possibly take down Flea. Another Toxin getting placed down over onto the ground, though. He's sitting very, very low, and they'll actually be able to take down Sammy Boy, IX Mike, and then Gunner, thanks to Snake King's Viper here. Oh my goodness. This hero is out of control.
The amount of damage that Snake King has done just with the Nether Toxin and having Team committed into it, it's really unfortunate because Nusham did not have the mana for Black Hole, and you can see that he actually picked up a Clarity, kind of like anticipating that with this build in the future, he's also not going to have... He's not going to have mana to cast things. Like, if he had the Black Hole there, I think that Flying Penguins looks a lot worse in that fight. So they're actually heading with the smoke towards the top lane, presumably to kill maybe the Spectre, maybe the Viper. These are important kills right now. Like, these heroes haven't died as much as the... Have they died at all, actually? Spectre has not died, and Viper has not died. Viper's 5-0. That's probably the kill
right
that you want. Yeah.
Yeah, he is feeling really, really good, I'm sure, right now. My question is, was that just a little bit too much of a dive, right? Because they still had that tier 1 up, and they just went running in between, and it just created a nice circumstance. But again, Haunt is down right now. We do have some hunting going on through the jungle. Gunnar gonna go and find Eternal Envy over here, just kind of poke at him a little bit. Envy's got to realize something's up, though, because IX Mike coming around. He's looking for the opening. We'll be able to go land those shackles over here onto Envy. He's gonna go up onto the cliff side. They actually have a ward, too, so if Envy had decided to stay there a little bit longer...
Oh, that is so unfortunate. Like, Spectre's completely useless at this point in the game. I know, like, he doesn't have the Han, and it's probably a pretty good time to fight for Team, but, like, the later and later this game goes, the more of a contribution the Spectre is actually going to have in these fights, and as I say that, he picks up a hand of Midas, so he's got a full Midas. Like, this hero does very little damage in these fights. It's kind of Viper just carrying these fights at this point, so Team not getting these rotations matters a lot, because they only have 3 or 4 smokes before Spectre is actually a force in the game. Viper picks up the kill on the Helm Dome creep.
Yeah,
so like when Spectre gets online, yeah, that's... God, he doesn't even have a single point in poison attack. He just doesn't think he needs it.
I mean, does he need it right now? Like, look at this guy. He even used the Viper Strike over on the Helm of the Dominator creep, too. Just constantly placing down this Nether Toxin, just farming up.
I can't help but feel like 1 point in poison attack. It's at 25% slow at level 1. Like, that's a very effective single point. I mean, it's not like he's needed it up until this point, because he does have the shackles from the Shadow Shaman, which has provided a lot of lockdown.
Uh-oh, I think Flea maybe getting a little bit too greedy down here is gonna get eaten up by Sammy Boy with a little help from my ex Mike. I think he was going to try to drop the Serpent Wards. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Top lane, though, do have the Black Hole getting committed. They should be able to find the kill over onto Snake. They'll actually use the Scythe, turn their attention now over onto Ryoya. He's trying to run himself out. Ghost Shrug gets popped over here on Brax. He's going to try to just chase him down. They need to get a little bit more damage, but he does have those wand charges, and he's going to run over, meet up with the Lelis over here. Hand of God gets used, but Gunnar still chasing him down. Will be able to get the Slight, and they take down the Monkey King.
Yeah, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. And while this is happening, Sammy Boy is free farming on the bot lane. He's actually going for Battle Fury too. So, yeah, really nice block hole from Nisham. He's completely controlling this game right now, and this is in a game where they didn't do well in any of the lanes really. So like his rotations have taken them from the brink of just getting snowballed on with an enemy team that's far better in the late game. However, with that being said, there is a Spectre Midas, so this hero is going to start contributing soon.
Do you remember, like Dota 2 is such a weird game, right? Like, if you had told me that Spectre would be building Midases, like, a few patches ago, I'd be like, you are absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah.
And now look
Midas.
at it. Look at this meta.
Midas
What is this meta turning into? A Viper Atos Reeds
It's like he has a Midas and then maxing Desolate to fight. So it's like... It's a weird, it's like a fight, these are like fighting Midases. Because, you know, it's got 40 attack speed, it's not that bad. Attack speed does go to the illusions now, so extra Desolate damage because you have faster attack speed on those illusions, so it's not that bad, but it's very weird to consider that Midases are for fighting.
It is very
It's just
weird.
there's not enough gold on the map. Like, that's it. There's just not enough, like, Brax just killed a creep and got 35 gold for it at 13 minutes in the game. 35 gold, dude. These things used to give you like 45 to 50 gold. Maybe even 55 gold at this point in the game. This guy's getting half as much gold for creeps.
Like you said, there's just not enough farm on the map, it feels, nowadays, so...
Yep. Midases are great, gold talents are great, bounty hunter's great. It's one of the reasons I think that hero's currently the most picked hero.
I remember you saying that. I was very surprised, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Especially when you talk about the Dota 2 like gold economy on the map.
Yep, most picked hero I believe in pro level pubs right now. Surprised it didn't get picked up in this game. I'm surprised the Viper didn't get picked earlier either because people are first phasing that.
Yeah, that was very surprising too. I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it. This hero, again, you're seeing with Snake King, he's just doing so much. They had to use a black hole to take him down.
And the Scythe, they scythed him as well.
Like this guy.
Just imagine, like this hero's probably in a week going to be first pick material
Ooh, Flea gets the shackles down. Roya coming forward. Will be able to go use the slide. Gets those steering chains off. Flea now in for a little bit of trouble trying to run himself out. The Atos actually going to connect over onto Creep. Oh no. The other toxin going to get used though. They'll use the Viper Strike as well. Gunner trying to run himself out. Will be able to slide himself, buy himself a little bit more time. This other toxin doing so much damage though. It looks like he's going to be able to walk out, bottle through. They're going to actually use the haunt though. Gunner breaking ankles over here, but still will eventually get found.
Goodness, that was almost a disaster for Flying Penguins. Gunner's a pretty huge kill at the moment, just because the only way that they really kill him is through like the Shadow Shaman Hex. Other than that, he's got a relatively free game. He's got to be careful of the Atos, but it's quite easy to dodge. But in that scenario, he had committed, so the Atos was not that hard to hit in that scenario, but which is a little bit of a misclick. Snake King was almost resting in pepperonis there, but. Rotation coming on the bottom lane. This is very aggressive, though.
Oh, but they do have the Ember being able to come back around here. Roya trying to run himself out. They will be able to use the Atos over here onto Mike, but there's going to be the Nightmare coming out. Buys him a little bit more time. Boundless coming through. Looks like IX Mike might be in for a lot of trouble here. He will fall, and again, this Ember, he's just taking a bath and delivering beautiful black hole coming out, though. Over onto the side Flying Penguins. Not quite enough damage, though. They're going to be able to come right back out. Monkey King ulti coming through. They'll be able to find the kill over onto the Enigma. Now they still have the rise over here onto Brax. Brax trying to run himself out. Roya, he's got 3 stacks of that Jingu. He's got enough now. And the Boundless will be able to go find himself Brax. One more hit should do the trick, and Roya gets himself a double kill.
Oh no, Spectre's just like chilling in the top lane, free farming. Midasing creeps, getting a Dom creep kill while
living
this
his
is
best
happening.
life over here.
Oh my god, what a black hole from Nusham. That was amazing, but you have this unfortunate aspect of the game where you have a Viper that is the most farmed hero in the game, has a mechanism at this point, and the mech, with that buff to how much it heals, completely saving the day there. It looked really disastrous for FP, but that mech...
It was so close. If they had just a little bit more damage, and if they hadn't had that mech.
Yeah, they also had some one charges on their heroes, but... Oh god, they went from like, 20% HP back to 70%. The Viper's a real problem.
This has to be banned next game. This absolutely has to be banned. There's no way that you let that through.
I'm inclined to agree. Like I think Snake King played well, but this hero is ubiquitously considered broken in pubs. People are first banning it, calling it cancer, calling it Ebola. Like
I remember I saw a tweet coming out from Stina, right? And Stina was saying that Moon basically said like, "Hey, I got to use the bathroom. Either ban Viper, and if it doesn't get banned, pick me Viper."
Yeah, exactly. Like this hero is basically like one of the most underrated heroes in the past. Like in this patch.
I don't even know if it's underrated anymore. I don't think it is. Nice
it's not any. It's definitely not anymore. Actually, I mean, it probably still is because it's that good. But it's just that it was. Oh, Sammy, careful, buddy.
Oh, might be in for some trouble here. They will be able to go land the shackles though over onto the Ember Spirit, trying to slide himself away. Is in the middle of quite a bit of nastiness, but will be able to get himself out there to that remnant. Do have some pushing going on here in the top lane though. Nusham just forcing out the lane.
Dude, my boy Nusham is like keeping them in this game. Absolutely. Like that push on the top lane, getting a tier 2 for tier 2 trade as a single Enigma, as a 4-role Enigma. He's the second most farmed on his team. He's completely... But here's the problem though. Like, you're an Enigma versus a Viper, who's just constantly going to have Corrosive Skin on you, constantly going to have Nether Toxin down, so much stuff to cancel your blink. You have a Spectre who presses Haunt and then you can't blink. Like how does Nusham as an Enigma
he's got to get the jump.
carry this game?
That's the thing is he's absolutely has to get the jump first. Otherwise, like you said, Spectre just is gonna haunt, cancel out that blink, nothing's gonna happen, or he needs to be smoked or something. Like he has to find a way into it.
Shadow Blade or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
He's holding a smoke, so I think you're right. Like they know that if they can get a good jump in a fight, they will definitely win the fight. Maybe they're going to smoke up on this next black hole cooldown, which is in 5 seconds. And I feel like their timing is relatively soon, because you're against a Spectre Midas. And then other late game heroes who are no slouches in the late game. Like
the later
Monkey
this goes,
King's
the
great,
more
Viper's
comfortable
great.
it becomes for Envy. Absolutely. The Hex
Yeah,
going to come out though over here
bottom lane,
onto Gunner. They'll follow up. Eternal Envy uses the Haunt, and they'll be able to take down Gunner. So I guess maybe they just didn't care about his Ember Spirit. We talked about this, right? How it did a lot of work for Flying Penguins during the Dream League quals, but Doesn't seem like they're too concerned. They'll actually go use the Wukong's command. Just push everybody back. Brax getting a little ballsy here, running forward. Nusham again places down that Midnight Pulse, hoping maybe that he can get a black hole, but they're just spaced so well. The Hex comes out again, the Nether Toxin, and the Atos. Oh my goodness, there was a Brax there. It's not there anymore. Buybacks are coming out, though, from the Ember. They get another hold, though, over here onto Sammy Boy, who's going to have to dance himself back here. We'll be able to go use the Fiend's Grip over here onto Roya. Gunner trying his best. They drop that Nether Toxin side coming out. Oh, but the Hand of God coming through will be able to save Roya, and now they're going to turn their attention again. Gunner trying to do everything that he can as possible. They actually managed to get that black hole off at the back end here, and they're doing a lot of work right now. Eternal Envy barely staying alive. He's actually still there, but he will eventually fall. Snake King, though, this guy, he's a beast. He's still alive. Throws down the Nether Toxin. Will just be able to chase down, and that's a team wipe. And all of that, too. You had Flea with those Serpent Wards just cutting through everyone that entire fight.
Yeah, that was close to a 5-man black hole. It was a 4-man black hole, and it just doesn't matter because you have such a farm deficit on your team. Like, this Necrophos feels completely useless. Troll Warlord feels completely useless. Ember Spirit got picked off at the start of the fight. He's felt pretty useful. He's been finding pickoffs, but he's still the second. He has the second least farm on his team. The only hero who's less farmed than him is naturally a Bane. It really feels like this team draft. If they're not destroying the laning phase, then you're playing a Necro versus a Viper. You just melt. You're playing a Troll versus a bunch of kiting heroes. You're playing an Ember Spirit in the mid lane versus a Monkey King. I don't 100% get the Spectre pick on Flying Penguins, but their other heroes completely obliterate Team, and then the Spectre gives them that late game. So Team knows that they have the pressure on them to win the game. Otherwise, they're going late against a Spectre, and Spectre's like, well, go for it, you know?
Well, I think part of the reason why Spectre looks really, really nice here is because they've got a couple ways of bringing Spectre into the fight, right? So you've got your Chen over here who can recall you if you want, just pull him in rather, and then you've got the Spectre Haunt. So Eternal Envy going to be able to just go walk around the map, farm up, get what they need, and then whenever they need them, they can just use the Chen to bring her back into the fight as well. So there's a couple ways to get her into the middle of everything, but they're jumping right in right now here. It's cycling through. Nightmare will be able to go over onto Snake King. They'll drop the wards. So there's a lot of chaos coming through right now. Hex is going to come through there over onto Brax. Eternal Envy just chasing him down. Doesn't want to go too deep here. We'll turn their attention right back around again. And they're going to try to go pop those Guardian Greaves. These wards, though, doing so much damage. We'll be able to finally take down the racks over here. And there's going to be the Shackles coming through over onto the Enigma. He is out of here. They're going to go right back in again, try to put some more damage down. Should be able to take this other racks, and it's nothing that Team can do right now. They just have to watch this all happen.
Yep, they have no hole, so they have to sack a racks. Lucky for them, there's a tier 1 and a tier 2 still available in the top lane, and Sammy Boy did a really good job pushing out that lane, so that means that FP have to deal with it. They have to get this tower before they can secure the game, and that gives Nusham an opportunity to get his black hole up. But once again, we're going to run into this issue where it's like, where does the damage come from in the black hole? Like, it's not like he hasn't hit them. He's hit multiple 3 or 4-man black holes. That's exactly what you want out of your Enigma. Even against counters, even against heroes that are very hard to blink against, he's still hitting the holes. But where does the damage come from? Ember's not going to do it. He's a support. Troll's not going to do it. He's got a Battle Fury at this point. Necrophos has all defensive items, and he's still dying in every fight. It's just, where does the damage come from? I don't think... It has to come from, like, Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy has to get another item. He has to get his Troll ulti off in the black hole. He can't die. But then who goes in and starts the fight and sets up for the black hole? That has to be Sammy Boy or Gunner as well. Like,
the other problem is, how do you kill Viper? He just picked up a full Pipe of Insight. He's got Guardian Greaves, he's got a Pipe of Insight, and then, of course, he's got the Rod of Atos and his nasty Nether Toxin.
Yeah, and he went for the 6 corrosive skin stats. He went for the 8% spell lifesteal. Okay, so they are going to do this. Sammy Boy's going to run in like an absolute madman. They're going for one last fight.
Alright, there's the Hex up, though. What's he going to do? They just hold him down. They take him out. There's a beautiful black hole, but where's the damage? Where is it going to come from? Nusham's just doing this dance. Beautiful. They just go through the Hand of God. They're going to be able to sight down Nusham. No problem here. IX Mike has just been left behind by the rest of his team. There's going to be the buyback coming out here, but looks like Brack's gonna have to walk himself away. And Gunnar isn't for a lot of trouble right now. He doesn't have any remnants up. He's trying to run himself away. This break, he's just ticking down so fast. He's barely gonna get it, and then Eternal Envy just comes in for the cleanup kill, but actually trying to break some ankles. Still gonna be able to find that kill, and that's a dieback, I believe.
Yeah, and where's Necro dying? He's just getting...
Necro's just slowly getting chased down by Rui over here. Although Nusham coming to the rescue. Gonna be able to keep him alive. But that's the GG call, as expected. At this point, where's the damage, like you said?
Yeah, Necrohost even went for the 10 strength talent, so this guy's purely trying to survive, because he's had a really rough game. I think there was moments there where Team was absolutely in control of the game and playing really well. Like, the rotation to the top lane was beautiful. Like, you have Nusham coming in with the Enigma, Helm Dom getting the mid tower, getting the top tower. Sammy Boy even rotated to the top lane to show up to a fight as a carry, which was amazing. Like, the rotation was great. They overcommitted a little bit, but I really feel like against this Flying Penguins draft, if you don't play absolutely perfectly, your cores just can't do anything. Like, you have a Monkey King who's countered, you have a Necrophos who's countered, you have a Troll. He's not countered, but the Viper was like the most farmed hero in the game, who was against the Troll. So what core is winning? What core does the damage on Team?
That eventually became their problem for sure. Is that, you know, again, hats off to Nusha. Beautiful black holes coming through, but just not enough damage, especially, you know, when you've got, hats off too for Flea and Snake King here. Did really, really nice. Obviously, Luz had some great clutch Hand of Gods, but, you know, the fact that Snake King got away with so much, was able to get so much farm on his hero, and just playing Viper in general, right, is just disgusting. But then Flea, too, being able to drop those Serpent wards, they're focusing on everything but the wards, and he actually, I think he got himself like a double kill at the bottom racks.
Yeah.
Thanks to that, too. So just too much chaos and just not enough damage coming out from the side of Team. But
Flea's rotation too have been amazing. Like, he was rotate to the top lane, get a kill top. He was setting up all the kills in the bot lane, rotates to the mid lane. Like, this guy was playing totally on point this game.
For sure, for sure. And it's always great to see Snake King and Flea playing together, too. They're a pretty good dynamic duo there. But this is a best of 3, guys, so we will be back with yet another game between Team and Flying Penguins, and we'll see if Flying Penguins can clutch it out in 2, or if Team's going to come back with a vengeance. So make sure that you stick around. We'll be right back.